in building projects, including a new $48 million Historical Society museum, the remodel of Romney Hall on the MSU campus, and local water and sewer projects all over the state. Majority Republicans also touted a number of bills yet to be signed to aid business and the economy, such as a tax abatement to encourage more broadband in rural areas.
It's a laundry list of things we tried to get done, and we got a good many of them accomplished, and now it's up to the governor to see whether or not he would like to come to an agreement on those bills. Obviously, let them become law without his signature or sign them.
Governor Steve Bullock said later he'll examine each bill that comes to his desk, but that some will be vetoed if they bust the budget. Thursday also saw two items that failed to pass: state funding for preschool and language to help Northwestern Energy buy part of the Colstrip 4 power plant. The Colstrip language never made it to committee, and Republicans on a budget panel rejected preschool funding proposals, which Bullock said was a disappointment.
Quality preschool ought not be only for families who can afford it. I do call on our future leaders who will be in these Capitol hallways in 2 years to find a way to get a permanent, publicly funded preschool program done for the state once and for all.
Yet the governor chose to put a positive spin on the work of the 2019 legislature.
At the end of the day, I do think in Montana we continue to be a shining example of how our political system is supposed to work. We've once again demonstrated that we can put partisan politics aside and come together to do right by Montanans.
As one legislative leader said Thursday, no one gets everything they want from this democratic process. But for the most part, lawmakers Thursday focused on what they did accomplish rather than not. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thank you, Mike. And now we'll turn things over to Rob in the Weather Center. Rob, it sounds like more April showers on their way.
Yeah, we have to remind ourselves, Samantha, we're not quite to Mother's Day yet. Really, that's the litmus test of whether or not we're going to see more nice weather consistently than not. It's springtime across the Rockies and wetter weather expected for the next 6 to 10 days. Actually, it's the next 2 weeks, and you can see most of the United States is involved. But as we look at Montana, 30% chance of wetter than average weather in the Northwest, about a 40% chance everywhere else. And yeah, it's going to be cooler too, especially when you look up there in northwestern Montana. Pretty good chance it's going to be cooler all across Montana and Wyoming. And in contrast with the rest of the nation, well, we definitely are in a little pocket of colder air, at least for a couple of weeks. We'll take a look at the specific weekend statewide forecast. That's coming up in just a bit. Samantha?
Thanks, Rob. Well, an update to a sad story out of Colorado. The driver of a semi-truck is in custody after a fiery and fatal chain reaction crash that brought a major highway in Colorado to a standstill yesterday. Police now say the accident is even worse than they originally thought. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Police in Lakewood, Colorado describe it as one of the worst accident scenes they've ever investigated. The number of vehicles involved in the deadly chain reaction crash is now said to be at least 24 cars and 4 semis.
He had to be at least 80, 90 miles per hour. And as soon as he gets to the bridge, he cuts in and then automatically exploded the whole thing.
One truck driver is now under arrest.
The driver of the semi that started this event was taken into custody. He is being processed and will be lodged at Jefferson County Jail on multiple counts of vehicular homicide.
Police are still working to determine the exact number of fatalities. They say multiple people were killed, at least 6 hospitalized. Witnesses reported a number of explosions after the semi carrying lumber barreled down the highway and crashed into oncoming traffic. The wood fueled an inferno that officials say got as hot as 2,500 degrees.
I'm glad I'm alive. I made it out. I heard somebody died, so I'm okay.
While police continue their investigation, highway officials say they expect I-70 to be shut down in both directions at least until tomorrow. Natalie Brand, CBS News.
Now, officials say there is no evidence at this time that drugs or alcohol may have played a role in that crash. Well, back here in Montana, we're learning a Great Falls police officer was shot in this week's standoff in Shelby, which resulted in the death of 2 people. One officer was shot and another also injured when police exchanged gunfire with the suspect, Richard Munch. Both were treated and released from the hospital. Police then shot and killed Munch in that standoff. A judge is ordering a mental evaluation in the case of a man holding another man hostage on a bus in Butte back in January. These new developments are now delaying the hearing of Dane Gibson. He faces aggravated kidnapping and assault with a weapon charges in connection with what turned out to be a very long standoff in Butte. The hostage was able to escape the situation safely. And after nearly a month on the loose, Butte police say they now have a stabbing suspect in custody. 27-year-old Zachariah Mickens is charged with assault with a weapon. Police say he slashed 3 people with a knife at a gas station parking lot last month. Well, new information on the expansion for Expo Park, home of Montana State Fair, to be completed in July. Cascade County commissioners approved funding for the change. The plan calls for a multi-purpose event center, retractable seating to fit 7,000 people, new lighting, restrooms, and concessions. And there's this, a way to fix a separation issue between the agriculture and livestock buildings.